Hi, it's Paul, and today I'm an old man with a Brompton that's electric, but it's not a Brompton electric because it's a Swytch bike. Let me explain. So after my wife and I bought our Brompton electrics, one of her friends was talking to her, or talking to us, and saying, oh, they're rather nice, quite like one of them, but really expensive. And they are. Brompton electric, full on, brand new, is expensive. And I said, well, have you thought about getting a conversion? Talked a bit about it, looked into all the different types, because there are many different types of conversion for the Brompton and for other electric, or for other bikes. But we settled on the Swytch. And so a couple of days ago, she brought her bike round to me, and I converted it, and this is it. And before I give it back to her, I thought I'd take it out for a ride and let you know what I think. And I've done a couple of miles, and it's pretty good. So one of the things that people have complained about with the Brompton electric is you can't retrofit it to an existing bike. Brompton give a number of reasons for this, but whatever, it's their decision. So there are, as I say, quite a few different options that you can buy aftermarket kits to convert your Brompton to be electric. Just off the top of my head, there's the Nano conversion, there's the Arc conversion, there's one that runs on a Bosch power tool battery, which I must admit I quite like the idea of. But this particular one I looked at and thought, yeah, that looks quite decent. It comes in two battery options, a Pro version and an Eco version. This is the Eco version because the lady that's going to have the bike doesn't expect to do a huge number of miles on it. Swytch themselves, the company, are a sort of a start-up crowdfunding type outfit. They run constantly. You can buy a Swytch conversion today, but it will cost you a reasonable amount of money. But what they do every now and then, maybe once a year, is they do a crowdfunding thing where you sign up, you commit your money, I think you pay your money from recollection, and then once they've built up sufficient orders, they commit to a bulk purchase of orders, and they build the bikes or build the conversion kits and ship them out from China. So sometime last year I put the order in, and after about 5 or 6 months it appeared. To be fair, it sat in my office over winter waiting for me to install it, and I in turn was waiting for the lady to bring the bike to me because I couldn't do it without the bike. I'll do a separate video on the actual install, which I've got to say was fairly easy. Probably took me a couple of hours. They reckon, I think from remembering, they reckon about an hour to an hour and a half. I took 2 hours, I took my time, and I did have a problem with it. Again, I'll deal with the problem in the install video, but suffice to say, I went on to them on email and they dispatched me the parts that I needed under warranty, and I got them within a day and fixed the problem. So just like the standard Brompton electric, the OEM version if you like, it has a motor in the front wheel and obviously a pedal sensor and the bracket that holds the battery. The difference on this one being the bracket that holds the battery is on the handlebars, although you can get from Swytch a bracket that mounts on the luggage mount, the same as the Brompton electric. However, the one that mounts on the bracket mount, I don't think you can get the bags that it fits in like it does, again, on the Brompton electric. So, in terms of what it does, very similar. There's 5 assistance levels, where there's only 3 on the Brompton. So I suppose you could say that's an advantage. What you don't have is you don't have the remote control that you do on the Brompton. On the Brompton you can have an app on your phone, which if you've got the handlebar mount, you can control the assistance level from the screen of your phone, so you don't have to lean down and adjust the battery. On the Swytch conversion, the only adjustment is on the battery itself, although I believe in other countries, I'm in the UK, I believe in other countries you can get like an on-off or throttle control to go on the handlebars. As far as I'm aware, you can't get that in the UK, because I don't think it's acceptable under UK law. I'll check that, and if I'm wrong, I'll put that in the edit. So I'll jump back to the office now and explain a little bit more about what you get in the kit.
Okay, to go back through the Swytch kit then, you get a battery, you get a mounting bracket, you get a pedal sensor, and you get a motor. That's what comes in the kit. If you sit the two side by side, there's not a huge amount of difference. So let's have a look at the actual detail of the original Brompton electric and the Swytch conversion. So on the left here is the Brompton electric with the battery mounted on the front of the main tube. On the right is the Swytch battery mounted on the handlebars. On the left here's the bracket on the front of the Brompton main tube. On the right is the Swytch handlebar bracket. They stay on the bike when you take the battery off. On the left is the Brompton with no visible pedal assist sensor. On the right is the external Swytch pedal assist sensor. On the left is the Brompton motor. On the right is the Swytch motor. There's some very small differences in the way the cablings run. The Brompton cabling runs to the motor controller, obviously, and the Swytch runs along the lines of the existing cabling. So the question is then, which do you choose? Do you choose original Brompton or do you choose Swytch conversion? Well, I don't know about you, but I can tell you my thoughts on it and why I made the decision I did at the time. Here then is a comparison that I've put together of features and differences, pricing and all the rest of it between the two different possibilities. Top left and right show the prices to date, March 2022, of the Brompton electric and the comparable Brompton C-line, which is pretty much the same frame. There are differences, but it's a comparison apples for apples. If you bought a standard C-line Brompton then without the electric powering, you'd make a saving of between 1,500 and 1,600 UK pounds from the electric version. If you buy yourself a Swytch kit to convert your standard Brompton, the minimum you'll spend is about 550. In real terms, you'll probably spend about 650, which is around what I spent for the options that you need. But that represents a fantastic saving, doesn't it? What's not to like? So let's concentrate on Swytch kit pricing for a minute. First thing to say is, the price that I paid was because I was prepared to wait the 5 to 6 months for delivery. If you don't want to wait, you're going to pay double. They will sell you a kit when they've got them available, which incidentally they don't have today, but they will sell you a kit off the shelf, but it will cost you twice as much as the crowdfunded kit. So if you double up the 650 approximately that I paid, we're suddenly at 1,300, which is getting a lot closer to your 1,500 to 1,600 difference to the price of a brand new Brompton electric. Then if you want to go for the bigger battery, you're going up in price again. I think from recollection it was about 100 more. So add another 100 in, that's another 200 if you double it up. And all of a sudden you're at exactly the same price as the Brompton electric. So you might say, oh, but Paul, there's other options available, not just the Swytch kit, and they're at a cheaper price point. Yes, there are. There are also more expensive options available. There are mini kits available. Go look on the internet, find yourself some. My point is, do your research, compare your pricing, work out how much the base conversion that you want to do is going to cost you. Then consider a couple of other things. If you buy a genuine Brompton electric, you're going to get full warranty from Brompton, you're going to get full dealer support, you're going to get a branded solution. If you go with a Brompton with a Swytch kit, if you've got a brand new Brompton or one that's under a couple of years old, it's still under warranty. Potentially, by modifying it, you've voided the warranty. Also, you won't get dealer support, not in the way that you get it with a full Brompton. If you take your converted Brompton to a Brompton dealer and say, I'd like you to look at my converted Brompton, he's very likely to say, no, I'm not prepared to, because they are quite strictly regulated, as I understand it. Don't get me wrong, I have absolutely no complaints about the support network for either product. The support from my dealer for my Brompton has been nothing less than awesome. Thank you, Brilliant Bikes. The support from Swytch, when I had the issues with the conversion kit, was absolutely spot on. It was by email, but everything was done next day. It was really quick, really good, no complaints there. So I am not complaining about either of these things. My main point being that if you buy a brand new Brompton standard and you fit a conversion kit, you're not going to get the one-stop shop support during warranty that you would get if you bought a genuine. So in summary, on the pricing front, if I was looking for a new bike, then I'd buy a Brompton electric rather than buying a Brompton and converting it with any kit, because I think financially and warranty cover wise, it's the better course of action to go to. However, if you've already got a Brompton or you're buying second hand, then the rules are completely opposite, because you can't buy a Brompton electric kit, as said already, and all of a sudden your options get much, much cheaper with something like a Swytch kit. So then the decision comes down to, does it do what I want it to do? So if you're brand sensitive and you want everything to have the Brompton brand stamp on it, then you're going to have to go Brompton. You've got no other choices. But you are now coming down to very, very minimal differences. The Brompton bag is a bag. You can put stuff in it, although it's not that big. The Swytch bag doesn't have any capacity to store anything inside it, but as said previously, the luggage bracket does stay in use if you use the handlebar bracket. Controls on the Brompton, you can get an app for your smartphone. If you've got the handlebar mount for your smartphone, you can control the speed control from your phone on the handlebars. There is no such option on the Swytch. The Swytch is only controllable from the battery and nowhere else.
So in conclusion, what would I do? Would I get a brand new one, or would I get a conversion if I was doing it again, knowing what I know now? Well, either. It makes absolutely no odds to me. If I talk for a moment about issues, as is shown on my other videos, I've had some issues with this. They're fixed, so I don't mind, I can carry on. I had some issues on install of the Swytch. It's fixed, they sent me new parts. I've been talking to a guy who's also had some problems with the Swytch, a very similar problem to what I had with this. We haven't found a fix for it yet, but we're heading in the right direction. My point being that all types of equipment have problems. It's the way the world goes, unfortunately. Nothing's perfect. So I kind of discount that. If I can find the solution, or if the manufacturer finds a solution, all good. Pricing. The pricing, yes, all e-bikes are expensive. I have another e-bike of a Trek Rail that cost way more than this. I love it, and it's what I'm prepared to pay. It's more than I ever paid for a car, to be honest, but there you go. Such is life. Ordinary, just standard bikes are expensive. A standard Brompton is expensive. The world is blooming expensive these days. One of the reasons that we went new instead of second-hand was during the pandemic, the price of second-hand Bromptons was actually higher than the price of new Bromptons.
To get a second-hand Brompton electric would cost you upwards of £4,000, and even 25-year-old ordinary Bromptons were changing hands at well over £1,000, £1,500, £2,000. Crazy prices. Stabilised a little bit now, but it's still not good. It's difficult to get bikes. So I'm perfectly happy with what I did, but I would have also been perfectly happy had I gone with a conversion kit in the style of the Swytch. I like the Swytch. The little I've ridden it, I think it's good. So there you have it. Completely on the fence, no guidance either way. It is entirely your decision as to what you do, what things you find important. All I've tried to do in this video is make it obvious a couple of things that you might want to think about that you might have not thought about before. So there you have it. I hope it's been of some use to you. If it has, or if you've got any questions, drop a comment in the comments down below, or alternatively drop into the oldmanwith.com website. There's an ask a question function there that you can put questions on there in complete anonymity without giving your name and address, if that's any use to you. Like and subscribe if that's your thing, it all helps. And also, if you would like to help, there's a buy me a coffee link down in the description. Click on that, and if you'd care to donate to the site to help the running costs, that would be fantastic. Other than that, thanks very much for your time. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.